We are live, not our usual time. so we usually are on Mondays, but I'm going to Disneyland. Seth is going to Disneyland. So Seth is in Disneyland. So
I'm not going to Disneyland.
You are not going to Disneyland, but thank you for bearing with us as we are on a not so normal day. It is a Sunday. It's kind of a dreary Sunday for us, but we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about, including my past week at Disney World. Yeah. Are you ready to get started?
You can't keep track anymore?
I can never keep track. You ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and MEI-Travel. I'm Carly.
I'm Adam.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest going on in the theme park world, a little bit about what's going on in our lives. Adam, thank you.
for being your husband?
Yes, for being my husband, and also for filling in for Seth when he is away. He is at Disneyland, which is actually where I'm headed tomorrow. So that is why we are filming on this lovely Sunday. So thank you so much, Derek Ho's Corner and Wiser, for tuning in on our not normal day. But I am happy to have Adam with me, who is just as enthusiastic about everything we're chatting with this week with me to help me along. Wanted to share first, last week, Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival kicked off, and I got to attend opening day. Very good. A lot of new items this year. Some festivals, especially food and wine, it's like the menus are kind of the same year after year. But this festival introduced a ton of new items, a lot of plant-based items. They lean heavily into the impossible, but it's not just, an Impossible burger. They really get inventive. They did this like sausage gravy biscuits. They actually emulated the pork inside of like a bao bun and did an Impossible bao bun. Very interesting. But my favorite, I have to say, there is a grilled lobster tail with key lime butter that was like chef's kiss.
On the picture.
Yeah, one of the best lobster tails I've ever had. And I'm not joking. Like, this was made in a festival kiosk. I don't know how.
Wow. And you'd sent me a picture of something that looks like an old Food and Wine Fest option that we used to love, the steak.
Yes.
Chimichurri.
Yes. So also launched last week was the Disney California Adventure Food and Wine Festival, which I'll be checking out tomorrow. And they have this new dish. It's a sirloin with mashed potatoes and chimichurri. And it reminds me a lot of an Epcot Food and Wine Festival item we liked 10 years ago. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember it so well. And we even tried to replicate it at our wedding.
Yes. It was one of my favorites. But, that's the thing with these festivals. Things come, things go. But yeah, so it was if you can make it out to Flower and Garden, awesome festival. I'm excited to head to DCA for their food and wine, where Seth is right now. I'll be meeting up with him tomorrow to try all their goodies because they got lots of new items.
And I will forever be jealous.
Well, we are doing something fun this week.
We are. We're going to be in Dollywood, and you're going to be sitting down with Miss Dolly.
Yes. I'm so excited. The season opens this coming weekend. So I am excited for the season. The I Will Always Love You Music Festival is back. The food festivals are back. And then one of our favorite roller coasters, Lightning Rod, is reopening.
Well, we'll see if it's the same lightning rod, though.
Yes. So just the launch is a little bit different. But if I can have it up and operating the majority of the time as opposed to what it was before, I am happy.
Yeah, me too. And if not, I can go get my free pickles that I love so much from across the way at the diner.
You love the pickle bar there. So we have some fun stuff going on. Again, a lot of food festivals happening right now. Of course, also Universal Mardi Gras, SeaWorld. So it's a fun time for the theme park foodie.
It certainly is, as long as you avoid the Italy booth, because for some reason that food is just never. The Crystal Palace, if you guys follow the Crystal Palace, she posted this picture of like penne with sauce and like these tiny shrimp, and I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah, it is just kind of like now a joke. I don't understand how, after the intense feedback they receive every year, I don't even bother trying it anymore because I don't know what I'm going to say or do with it. And it's like, you don't want to keep hating on it, but maybe, I don't know if we all stop going there. But yeah, this year looked actually quite bad.
You know what? But they make up for it in all the other places. Is the alcoholic ice pop still in France?
Yeah, so they have a frozen one right now, like a frozen drink. Yeah, so there's tons that obviously always very popular. The France booth, they have an herbs cheese croissant that looks really good. So there's a lot of really great food options at Flower Garden. A lot of plant-based, a lot of non-meat items. Even if you aren't a fan of like Impossible and the texture of it, totally get it. If you want to avoid meat, a lot of options.
And good artists performing this year too. The lineup is awesome, both at Mardi Gras and at SeaWorld and at Epcot.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. We were just talking SeaWorld had Hanson. There's a lot of like really great makeup of artists playing. So it's a good time, spring, to visit. And the weather is not bad. So
exactly.
Yeah. So without any further ado, let us get into the news in the queue. And we are kicking off at Walt Disney World. And forgive my pun, but they are making a splash in 2025. Do you like that?
I feel like I would have thought of that. So yeah, I do like that a lot.
Yes. It's a very huge joke. So this kind of came out of nowhere last week. I was pretty surprised. So any guest that checks into a Walt Disney World resort from January 1st to December 31st, 2025, they receive free admission to a Disney World water park on their day of check-in. So it's only on their day of check-in. Every guest has to be fully registered on the room. So, like when you link people up in your My Disney experience, make sure all your family's in there. You can't sneak any extra people. And then depending on what is open, you can either visit Disney's Typhoon Lagoon or Disney's Blizzard Beach water park. I love this.
Yeah, I do too. And it's funny because I think it will get more people to visit. And then those people will then go, wow, these places are really cool. And then maybe they'll end up buying a ticket for another day. Because to be honest with you, like I never even think about Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach. I love Typhoon Lagoon. It's like a tropical oasis, but I never think about it.
Right, absolutely. And I think it's such a nice thing. You get there, maybe the first day you don't want to spend the money on a park ticket because you're like, oh, I don't have a full day. I got to go back and check in. So this is a great way to maybe do something a little different. I also love, you don't even have to have any sort of park ticket. So it's not like an add-on, So I was thinking, oh, do you have to add it on because you purchased tickets? No, if you're doing like a staycation in the hotels, you could still go to the water park for free on the day of arrival, which is very cool.
Now, what if you want to try to beat the system and you know what I'm about to say, do one night at like 3 different resorts?
You could do that. Yeah. If you want to do a nice split stay and hop from place to place, like maybe do that's a good idea. One day at All-Star Sports, then you go to the movies. If you're really trying to be like budget friendly, you could totally do that. I mean, this is for each new stay. Again, it depends on what park is open, and currently they've only been operating one at a time. So basically you'd be going to the same park likely day after day, but this is an awesome perk. And that also comes along with, this is the bulk of the announcement, but they also, slid some stuff in there also for 2025. Disney Resort guests will continue to have that early 30 minutes. There will be extending evening hours for guests at deluxe resorts at select parks. The Disney dining plan will return. Disney Resort guests are currently the only ones that can access the Disney dining plan, but that may change and whatnot. And then, of course, vacation packages, hotels, park tickets, those all dropped for sale last week, which is quite unprecedented because it usually doesn't happen till around June. So I don't know if this is like an epic battle, another pun intended. They're trying to get ahead and get those visitors to lock in next year because we know something big is coming next year.
We know something big is coming. Now, if they really want to get me, they'll reopen River Country. Then I'll really be there.
I wish, but I will tell you, I am excited for the new cabins at Fort Wilderness because in the rooms, the artwork has a little bit of homages to River Country. So I cannot wait for that.
So cool.
And speaking of watery fun from Disney Cruise Line, we have news about new outfits that the characters will be debuting at Castaway Cay. We recently learned that for the upcoming new island, Lighthouse Point, the characters will be tapping into the Bahamas and wearing these really cool outfits. And now Castaway is going to get their own lineup of original looks, and they're so cute. Did you see these?
I did, and I frankly, like, when I saw Mickey and Minnie, I was like, I kind of want an outfit that looks like that.
Oh my God. Well, we could certainly expect people to probably bound as this because they really are really cute. They're like dressed for a day at the beach. Donald Duck has snorkel gear on, so maybe he'll go look at some of the abandoned ride vehicles with us. And Minnie's dress is all rainbows. There's cute sunglasses. I like Goofy looks like a typical tourist with his like hat on, and
which is so typical Goofy anyway for him to be tourist.
Such a Goofy look. And then Chip and Dale, they're made like outfits of material they found on the beach into like homemade pirate costumes. So I love it. It's so cute. It's always so fun when you're riding the tram there and you see them on the side and you wave. It's so cool. And then of course, the other big news that Disney Cruise Line dropped is that the newest upcoming ship, the Disney Treasure, which will be sailing in December of 2024, they have an original song called Live the Adventure, which is performed by award-winning singer-songwriter Jordan Sparks.
Which is
very cool.
I'm hoping I get to go on the Treasure with you.
Yes. I mean, just the thought of going to a Haunted Mansion bar is wild. And then on top of, we love the Frozen dining experience on the Wish, and they're going to have something which kind of seems similar to that, a theatrical dining experience, Plaza de Coco. So hopefully we will get to go on it in the near future. It looks awesome.
It'd be cool if they had like a bridge that you walk to get to the other land, like they do on Coco.
I love that. Oh, that little gold bridge.
Yeah.
Yes. So fun. Well, from the sea to the land, kind of an interesting thing. When we talked about this, you were like, what? Kind of shocked.
Yeah.
Over at Universal Orlando Resort at Islands of Adventures, Skull Island, Reign of Kong has removed the 3D portion of it. So that means you will no longer be wearing 3D glasses on the screen-based attraction. It is now 2D. Yeah.
I mean, that was, to me, this is kind of how Fast and the Furious has always been in Orlando versus the tram tour in Hollywood, where it's 3D in Hollywood, it's not in Orlando. So part of me is just like, well, that sucks, because I like the 3D element, and then part of me is just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And this is something they've said they're doing through March 9th. So the video projection is updated to accommodate that change from 3D to 2D. We also saw the removal of 3D from Despicable Me Mayhem Simulator back in 2019. So the gist of the ride is still exactly the same. You're in an open air vehicle going to Skull Island. You see Kong, find it with those dinosaurs. It's still the same ride. You're just not wearing the glasses. But since the ride debuted in 2016, there's been kind of some pullbacks there. There was this little outdoor scene briefly in the opening of the attraction, and then do you remember when there were scare actors in the queue?
Like, I actually didn't remember that until you brought it up in the article. And then I was like, oh, I kind of do remember that now. But that's how short-lived it was.
Right, exactly. That is how short-lived it was. So we'll see what happens to this attraction if they test it and it goes well. Or, you can go out to Hollywood and you could do their version of King Kong 360 3D and still enjoy that portion of it.
Exactly. And honestly, I think we've had this conversation before. There's so much 3D at Universal, especially Universal Orlando, like between Spider-Man and Transformers and Harry Potter and all that. This is not a huge loss.
No, I don't mind it. I don't particularly love the 3D. I don't necessarily need it. So we'll see what happens there. I'd be very not surprised if they just kept it to 2D after this testing period. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm nervous with the 3D. I don't want to get motion sickness, and I'm sure that's a big issue for a lot of people too. So I go either way with it.
Yeah, you're not great on Gringotts because
I am not great on Gringotts. And actually, because the glasses have to be maintained, the last time I went on Gringotts, and they fell off because they were so loose. So
Yeah, I'm actually surprised now that you say that. Gringotts doesn't need that.
yes, and I believe they had tested or talked about briefly doing that also in 2D instead. I mean, I think that ride itself, the hybrid kind of roller coaster dark ride, is so strong that you don't really need that 3D component. I mean, maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, if you ride it, let us know what you think. I know Seth went on it, so I'll have to hear what he had to say. And then some more exciting news, Universal Orlando Resort. We talked about Epic Universe. Now we know finally an opening season for the DreamWorks Land that is coming to Universal Studios Florida. This will include, it's really targeted towards the families with younger kids and also us who think we're kids still. And this is going to have little play areas, which is such a neat thing at this resort, kid-size attraction, and it's all centered around the favorite franchises, including Shrek, Trolls, and much more. Are you excited for this?
I tell you, I was very sad when Fievel's Playland closed, but I'm not too sad anymore after looking at this because this feels really cool for kids and kids at heart.
Exactly, yes. I will mourn the loss of Woody Woodpecker's Kid Zone, but there's a lot to do, and they've really put good thought and attention to detail, and it's going to have several different themed play areas. First up, we have Shrek Swamp for the little ogres. That's going to be like a multi-level outdoor playground. Mama Luna Feline Fiesta from Puss in Boots. We have Poe's Kung Fu Training Camp, and that is where the Curious George Goes to Town stood in the back, if you remember. That has all the play structures, the water buckets, aka you get really wet.
Right. I mean, honestly, if you think about it nowadays, like Curious George and Woody Woodpecker are not children's characters for 2024. So it does make all of this makes complete sense.
Yes, I know it does make sense. We will miss the Fievel's Playland slide, but it looks like there's a lot of other watery fun. I loved in the artist renderings they shared with us for Kung Fu Training Camp. It is so detailed. It looks really, really wonderful. So I'm anticipating that to look just like kind of a nice cool backdrop. And of course, a good place if your kids need to blow off some steam, you could like sit in the shade. It looks like there's some little benches and seating area underneath, and your kids can run around in the water. So this is going to have the one main attraction, which is the Trolls Trollercoaster. That's hard to say.
Yeah, I know. It is very hard to say. But and this is refurbished. This is the Woody Woodpecker Nut House.
Correct. It is recycling the track from the defunct Woody Woodpecker's Nut House coaster, and with the Catterbuster and the Trolls film serving as the ride vehicle. It is very colorful, very fun. That was a great coaster. I would ride it all the time. So
yeah, it was fun.
It's a great little short coaster, good entryway coaster for children, fun one. And then of course, meet and greets will be, the heart and soul of the land. There's going to be traditional meet and greets, some experiences. We're going to have Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey. They're going to be at Shrek Swamp Meet. We will have Poe from Kung Fu Panda, Gabby from Gabby's Dollhouse, which has met in the park before, usually in the Hollywood area, is now going to be meeting over here. And then what I am excited to see return is during the pandemic, they introduced this DreamWorks Destination, which was a distance character experience in the former Day in the Park with Barney Theater. And did we not love that?
We had a blast. Like we actually stayed for like 3 shows in a row just because they're all different and they're different characters. And it was great. And it wasn't even raining that day. Like it's a perfect rainy day thing to do, by the way.
Right.
Especially
exactly. It's like, I guess the best way to say it's like an indoor dance party. You have these host dancers on stage, music is bumping, and you could like take up the air conditioning, but also you could just dance around.
And they also let us bring in our beers, if you remember.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So everyone is happy. This is now going to be called from DreamWorks Destination to DreamWorks Imagination Celebration. They are promising songs, dancing, high-tech effects for a party inspired by DreamWorks films. So again, that all sounds very much the same as the previous version, which I have, 10 out of 10, no notes. I wouldn't change it. I think it is perfect what they did. And just, a lot of people, including us, we are not character people. We don't wait in lines to see characters, but it doesn't mean I don't like to see characters.
Right.
But I like to see them like this, where you can just wave to them. If you want to take a picture with them, you can pose from a distance, and it's not like you're waiting in a 60-minute queue to meet them.
Although I will say right over there, we have gotten our picture with SpongeBob and Squidward before because for some reason they never really have a line.
They never have a line, and that is such a good meet and greet. But yeah, I mean, I am all about like the kind of, and that's also sort of untraditional how they have that beautiful photo op, and it's a whole experience over there. So I'm definitely expecting that. And then if you are hanging out there for a while, there of course is going to be some themed food and beverages. And what I am most looking forward to, which I'm sure you can guess, is in Swamp Snacks. They are going to be serving the Shrekzel, a Shrek pretzel.
Let me tell you, folks, this woman is obsessed with pretzels. I am not a master pretzel person, but we always get them anytime we're in a restaurant.
It is not my fault. I grew up in the Northeast where Pennsylvania, Dutch country, was right there with the best pretzels in the world. This is going to be really cool, assuming it's a Shrek themed pretzel. There's the Far Far a waffle, the frozen ogre, and then inside Poppy's boombox, there's going to be Trolls treats, and they're going to have ice cream with kind of Trolls inspired flavors. What stuck out to me was the Brozone berry, which is huckleberry flavored.
Huh.
Maybe
I guess
like
that's the one that Knott's Berry Farm didn't get.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, oh, maybe that'll be similar. And then, of course, merchandise is going to be a big part of the land. Always a sucker for that, especially if there's some Poppy and Branch merch. Love the Trolls, hyped. And we don't know for now an exact date, but summer is soon.
I'm really hoping, by the way, that we get the donkey that roasted people back by Shrek 4D.
Yes. Oh, that was so beloved. And that whole area changed over to Minions Land. So they haven't been there, but I definitely am hoping for that. Shrek seems to be a big part of this new land. So I think it's going to be great. We're definitely going to be hanging out there. I'm going to be definitely having my fill of Shreksels and glitter trolls and all that fun stuff. If you look at the story online, we have some pictures from BioReconstruct of the work that's being done. I've seen it in person. They are really like chugging along. This thing is going to be ready most likely soon-ish for pass holder previews with an official opening happening sometime this summer.
Universal is in its era right now.
Oh, yes. And we are in our Universal era too. We are loving everything that is going on. I am hyped for Epic, hyped for this. So I couldn't love it more.
Same.
Yeah. So now talking about Sally Dark Ride. So they are the company behind some of our favorite amusement and theme park dark rides. We have Boo Blasters at Cedar Fair Parks.
Of course.
And then what about Holiday World?
Oh my God, the turkey.
Yes.
It's the funniest ride ever.
The funniest fever dream of a ride. Well, now Sally Dark Rides, in partnership with Cloudco Entertainment, are working on a Care Bears family attraction. And this looks so cute. So, they date back to the 80s, but people still love them. They're adorable. This will make for a great immersive ride. I'm sure very colorful and whatnot. And we don't know much about it. So basically, companies design or the idea and conceive an attraction, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be in a park. They have to wait for that park to purchase it. We've talked about IAPA before. That's kind of the same gist as you come up with this ride idea and then you hope, something like an amusement theme park or even like a place in Vegas will be interested in purchasing it. So I'm definitely excited to hear how that goes. And then Sally Dark Ride's been doing a lot. They opened recently on March 1st, literally days ago, and you SpongeBob Dark Ride at the Circus. So we're going to have to go there.
Yeah, we've been talking about a trip to Vegas soon. And then they also pitched Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes. And I'm like, I cannot believe that didn't get picked up. I feel like that would also be great in Las Vegas too.
Yeah. Maybe at the new potentially the new Universal Vegas attraction. There could be
that could be pretty awesome. Yes. Yeah. So we are definitely waiting to hear what happens. But if you know Sally Dark Rides, they are awesome. You got the animatronics, you got that immersion. There's like a lot of interactive features. Sometimes it's shooting and whatnot. And also, if you want to check out that new SpongeBob ride, we have covered it, I believe, on our YouTube and have done stories about it. It looks great. There's a Mr. Crab animatronic that debuted at IAPA, and it's insane, like next level animatronics. So very cool stuff they are doing.
Yeah. And if they can do Care Bears from the 80s, then maybe they can bring back my favorite Hanna-Barbera ride. Just saying. Just
I mean, a boy can dream.
Exactly.
Yeah, so very cool stuff. And now finally, for our last bit of news in the queue, we are heading to one of our favorite parks, Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania, where they have announced ahead of their upcoming season that they will be upgrading the roller coaster flight experience for Skyrush. So this is going to include all new seats, restraints, and a reimagined station with all new lighting effects and sound. So this is their roller coaster that goes 200 feet up in the air before flying downhill with 4 high-speed turns, 5 0G air times, and hitting 75 miles per hour. Woo!
So don't eat a pretzel before going on this ride.
No, but you might be tempted to, because Hersheypark does carry Pennsylvania Dutch style pretzels, and they are amazing. We love Hersheypark. This is a park that we visit every year. It is just so great, and they're really having this awesome moment right now. We have Wildcats Revenge, which opened up last year, which I got to go to. It is so good. And of course, just like all the chocolate.
Yeah. And the chocolatier, which is fantastic.
Yes.
That whole Chocolate Town area is really, really cool. You got Chocolate Town, Chocolate World, you have the park. And, you know, one of the things that I love about Hersheypark is we've gone so many times. We grew up going there. The place is massive.
Yes.
It's huge.
Right. They have the best collection of coasters in the Northeast, one of the best, I think, in the country, a well-rounded collection. It is a great park. So if you haven't been there in a while, I definitely recommend a visit back. And now is the best time to purchase tickets, because this is when they do their insane deals, which includes 40% off one-day admission, which is awesome. They have 70 rides. And then don't forget, the admission also includes Zoo America, which is a great zoo that's literally connected to the park. You don't have to pay extra. And it gets better. They have their own water park called the Boardwalk at Hersheypark. So this is open Memorial Day through Labor Day. And again, this is completely included in admission. And it's a legit water park. You know, I'm not talking like a couple pools and water features. Like, this is a water park.
You definitely get a lot of bang for your buck. And I mean, just go on a long weekend, stay at the Hotel Hershey or stay at the Hershey Lodge, and just enjoy yourself.
Agreed. Yeah. And if you're interested in season passes, they also have those available for purchase right now, and it is less than $23 a month, which sounds amazing, especially compared to our Disney World and Universal passes. But yes, Hersheypark is a wonderful place. So thank you guys for tuning in with our week of news in the queue. But before we get to the main attractions, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and MEI-Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI-Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at MEI-Travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction.
Yes, as if I couldn't be any more jealous of everything going on at the Tokyo Disneyland Resort, Tokyo DisneySea is gearing up to open a brand new land called Fantasy Springs, June 6, 2024. Just around the corner will be its grand opening, and this new land will have inspiration and kind of like a bunch of mini lands inspired by Peter Pan, Tangled, and Frozen. Oh, I'm so jealous.
We are envisioning a Tokyo trip very soon. I feel it.
Yes, same. We need to see Duffy and Friends, and you need to meet Lena Bell.
I know. Lena Bell is. I love Lena Bell.
You do.
And what I'm really excited about here is this 6-minute Peter Pan's Neverland adventure. Like that seems like really cool, because if Peter Pan's flight is so popular, I can't imagine what one built in 2024 is going to be like.
Exactly. I mean, modern day technology. So Disney has actually released new footage and images from the 3 realms within Fantasy Springs. So this is going to be Peter Pan's Neverland with that new attraction you talked about, Rapunzel's Forest, and Frozen Kingdom. And based on these attractions, it looked like it's just about ready to go. So let's talk for a second about what you can expect. So you mentioned that new ride. It's a 6-minute Peter Pan's Neverland adventure where riders are going to put on their 3D glasses and they are going to do a rescue mission to save John Darling from Captain Hook. And this looks amazing. We don't know yet exactly about the ride system, but we do have some pictures of the ride vehicles that were at D23 Expo. Very cool. Like you're on a treasure ship. Very unique.
Yeah, it seems like something. I mean, we always use that word immersive, right? And going into a spot and just feeling like you're in that spot. Super Nintendo World is a great example of that. And that's what, just from looking at the photos, that's what all of this looks like. And by the way, something that most people don't know is that the 3D glasses from Skull Island have been sent to Tokyo for this ride. That's where they went.
Then they were sold off.
Yeah. But no, this looks incredible.
Yes. And also here you are going to find Fairy Tinkerbell's Busy Buggies, which will be a 2-minute indoor-outdoor ride. And this will travel through the 4 seasons of the year. Again, we've seen the artwork. It looks awesome. And now we know a little bit about what it looks like inside. And then over in the Rapunzel-themed land, there will be Rapunzel's Lantern Festival, which will tell the story of the animated film Tangled in a 5-minute gondola boat ride. And it's going to culminate with a musical sequence with I See the Light. And then what I am hyped for is in the Frozen Land is going to be an all-new 6-minute boat ride within the world of Frozen. But it is not going to be the Frozen Ever After that we know from Epcot or the new World of Frozen in Hong Kong. This is claiming to dig deeper into the events of the film. So there's going to be some other scenes that aren't used in Frozen Ever After. Like one of my favorite songs, Love is an Open Door, is going to be part of it. And so we also don't know if they're going to see some of that, high-tech Imagineering in the scene when Anna freezes. So this looks really, really cool.
Yeah, and if Frozen Ever After came out before Frozen 2. So there's a potential for a lot of opportunity for other songs from the sequel.
Right, exactly. So I can't wait to find out what we get from that. And of course, it's Tokyo Disneyland. There's going to be a whole bevy of delicious food and beverage options. In Fantasy Springs, it's going to host a number of counter service places, and this will include dining inside Queen Anna's palace at the Royal Banquet of Arendelle. This is going to be kind of like a preset situation, but the theming of the room looks amazing. Wandering Oaken will have snacks, including Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo bread, which is a cardamom bread with spiced meat and lingonberry jam. We have some Tangled eateries. The food over there, if you follow it at all, it's next level, so unique. And then one of the biggest things over there is their crazy flavored popcorn. And this new area is going to have roast beef flavored popcorn.
Pass. That's all I got to say to that.
Yes. So they do inventive stuff. That actually sounds quite approachable, but yes, gotta love meat. And then, of course, their merch game over there is crazy good. They are going to be having merchandise themed to all the different realms that are inside of it. But the main gift shop itself will be inside the Fantasy Springs Hotel, which is the attached hotel that will open along with the new land. Of course, merch is going to include everything from pencils, towels, music boxes, and then we saw a little bit of what the entryway is going to look like. So you're going to pass through these rock formations with the likenesses of Peter Pan, Elsa, Anna, Rapunzel, and then a little bit about the backstory if you haven't been following. But basically, it tells the tale of a spirit who traveled to magical locales where Disney stories took place, like Peter Pan, and then recreated them upon returning home to her house by the spring. So think like a lot of rock work, water formations, landscaping, lush green work. Just from what we've seen, it does look beautiful.
Yeah, and by the way, you mentioned music boxes. I think that's such a unique piece of merch that you really don't see too much anymore.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Tokyo does merch out of control. We know because we sometimes order stuff from over there. They just have the best merch. And then Tokyo DisneySea Fantasy Springs Hotel will also open that same day, which is June 6th. It is has been quite hard. I've been following with people that I know over there. Hard to get some some reservations there as expected. But if you want to enjoy kind of the hype of getting ready, they have right now, or starting in April, the Dreaming of Fantasy Springs, which is going to be the park's preview event. And this is going to include, you can see Mickey and Minnie in their Fantasy Springs outfits. There's going to be decor, countdown merch, and then a few themed menus at existing dining locations. So if you're going to Tokyo and you want to visit this brand new amazing land, it's might be a little bit of a feat to be able to do so. No doubt it is going to be popular. You will need to acquire a free standby pass or purchase the Disney Premier Access, which is like their version of Genie Plus, but I think kind of better. So you're going to want to study up on that ahead of going because you don't want to miss this. It looks amazing.
It really does. It really does. And June 6th, I believe if my numbers are correct, that Universal Orlando opened June 7th, 1990. That's one day before their
Yes.
34th anniversary.
Wow. A big summer. So, you don't have to miss out on the fun. If you can't make it over to Tokyo this year, it's going to be there for, years to come. So maybe you can't get in right away, but it'll be there. Have no fear. We are excited to follow. I can't wait to see all the coverage of that.
Me too.
Yeah, so thank you, Adam, so much for joining me today. We've covered a lot. Before we go, we want to thank our sponsors, MEI and MEI-Travel, and then everyone out there, if you could take a minute to go and leave us a rating and review wherever you listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and of course, follow us on attractionsmagazine.com. You can also search Attractions Magazine on your favorite social media accounts. Adam, where can folks find you?
On the TV show Nashville Insider, airs all across the country, nashvilleinsider.tv to check your local listings, or on Rising here in Charlotte, the morning show on WCCB if you happen to live here.
Yes, I love it. Yes, and you can find me on Instagram at Adventures by Carly. I am on X at Carly Caramana. And this week I am headed to Disneyland first for some DCA food and wine, the first ever Disney Channel night on Tuesday, and then we are off to Dollywood to celebrate their season opener. So definitely follow along for all the updates on the fun happening. And until next week when Seth returns, I hope everyone stays safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun. We'll see you next time. Bye.